Yeah, so that's,
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish.
I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even as a kid, you know, you'd have to go to, like, sort of community kind of gatherings with a bonfire and fireworks, and some local vicar or whatever would come out and...
But I also think the adults think the kids love it, and if they just got together and said, should we go this year, they'd all go, no.
Absolutely.
Let's not go this year.
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket, climbed in, gone last one to the moon is a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a fireworks display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Karl?
Yeah, I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. Genius.
We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Karl? Anyone got it?
Educating Ricky, that's the final one. We've got to get that out of the way.
We've got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
We can do that at the end, we can
Go on, then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do Educating Ricky.
Right. God. The last one that we haven't done is, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on, then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, like, again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things, like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him, it played havoc with his belly, and he followed through and he had to clean up.
Shut himself?
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed, in what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right? Right. I give it to him, he's an actor and that, but he gave that a go.
Yeah.
Right, he played...
What's the point of that, you'd say, wouldn't you?
You'd say, God, he's you know...
so he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself...
Yeah, he did that.
...is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna, like, go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
You've been.
Well, it has. They've probably cleared it up by now. Right, but, it's slip on it.
I can't even be bothered telling you this one, because...
Come on! Just do it, or do it now!
Steve, how we doing?
Look, no, never mind that. Look, just tell me what that means! Oh, he's a nuisance. Oh, this is so annoying, Karl. I'm gonna go mental.
Right,
talk!
Right, listen, I'm just putting this in here, right? Right, nuisance is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Apparently, the old fella who used to hang people...
1700s?
Yeah. He used to be able to tell somebody's weight just by looking at them. Right? That's a bit of a bonus fact.
We'll be the judge of that.
The thing that I wanted to tell you is, money for old rope, do you know that saying? I can't even be bothered.
Yes, you're gonna tell me now. Come on, Karl.
Right,
I mean it.
Basically, money for old rope came from the... right.
What was all that about? He can tell someone's weight. What was
a
that
bonus
for?
fact.
And Brian Blessed shitting himself. What are you... What? No, don't you... No, tell me that now. You nearly made me swear then. I'm getting really annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed now. Tell me this fact, Karl, or I'm gonna go mental.
Come on, Karl, time's running out.
Not that people, years ago, when people used to be hung, right?
Right.
If you didn't like the person who's been hung, you'd go, God, I really don't like him, and so you never forget the time.
Presumably if they're being hung, we take that as read.
Yeah. But, so they never forget, afterwards, to get the hangman to get the rope, and to cut it up into little pieces, and he'd sell them. He'd sell the little pieces of rope to people.
See, Karl, that's the most interesting thing, if it's true, that you've come up with.
Right, okay. And so so they sell the rope?
They sell the rope, and it's money for old rope.
Money for old rope?
Meaning, like, you know, God, it's easy to make money, that all they have to do is cut it up and sell it.
Karl Pilkington in the chair now, the talked about, the acclaimed Educating Ricky.
Right, well, just in case anyone's new, doesn't normally listen, basically, I'm Educating Ricky. Do a bit of research in a week, find stuff, news, history, anything that's interesting. 3 stories, I give them a nice little headline, you take your pick. Between now and 3, you're gonna learn 3 things. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the headlines are, I'll be no buying one of them.
Give us that again.
I'll be no buying one of them.
Nice, okay.
Yeah. We've also got, HIPPO news.
Okay. Okay.
And, Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Well, I'm gonna go for HIPPO news.
HIPPO news?
HIPPO news.
Right, well this one, it's, I'm not gonna take the credit here. I heard Christian talking about this on breakfast, right? Because it's a good story that happened. Basically, I don't know if I told you about it last week when we were having our spaghetti. But,
I think you did.
Right,
I know what it is. I know what this is.
Okay, I've not heard this.
Right, there's a little midget. Right, there's a circus.
I'm loving it already.
Circus going on somewhere. I think it was in America. Yeah. And,
is that present day or old times?
I'm talking, like, in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right? Little midget, circus, really packed out show, people are loving it.
Right, Steve, you'll ask the same question I did, I know.
So there's a little midget jumping up and down on a trampoline.
What sort of circus is this?
Right?
I'd pay good money to see it.
So, everyone's clapping, and he's getting carried away.
Because he can't believe he can't believe they're loving it. I didn't know they'd like a little person on a trampoline, but they love me.
But you know what it's like when, if there's a crowd of people sort of encouraging you to sort of go higher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it was getting out of hand. But he was jumping and he was coming down the road going higher, and he's going really high in the air, right? So he's doing this, crowd are clapping. There's a hippo, right, just sat next to the trampoline, getting ready to come on and do his act.
Oh, right, I thought he was in the audience.
It's hippo getting ready to do his act, Steve.
Yeah. So
he's a ventriloquist.
What do you mean he's sitting by the trampoline waiting to do his act?
Because
why does he sit in the dressing room and they go, 5 minutes, Mr. Mus, 5 minutes, Mr. Mus.
So anyway, right, so the hippo's there,
he's getting annoyed, is he, because the midget's
he's going, how can I follow this? How can I, this is really annoying, they're gonna be, no.
So,
he's thinking, he's already done the trampoline, my pogo stick act is never gonna work.
Yeah, go on, so there's a hippo waiting. See, it's a great story, and I just know he embellishes it, or he gets slightly wrong. Go on.
So
there's a midget jumping up and down, the hippo's getting annoyed.
The crowd are going mad, the midget's loving it, can't believe his luck. Although you think, he probably knows he's dicing with danger.
Yeah. So, next thing you know, they're all saying higher, higher. He gives it one big, like, heavy sort of landing on the trampoline, goes really high, but goes off at a funny angle.
Oh.
Hypotenuse.
Okay.
Yeah. And sort of flies up.
Hypotenuse! Hypotenuse!
Sure.
Flies off at a funny angle.
Ooh, dear.
Hippo's there, swallows him whole. Crowd are clapping, thinking that's why the hippo was waiting there.
Rubbish. Rubbish.
It's not rubbish though.
But no, maybe there was an accident in a circus with a midget and a hippo, but at no point was this hippo waiting to go on, going, come on. The midget flew off at hypotenuse and landed in the hippo's mouth and was swallowed whole. This is what you embellish it. That is great. And what's
I have to say though, Rick, when I heard midget, trampoline, hippopotamus, I was thinking accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe? I mean.
It is that, you should never put those three together.
Never.
It's a recipe for disaster. Everyone knows that. Midget, trampoline, hippopotamus. Are you mental?
You're asking for trouble.
Well.
You know, when he told me it, he said, and the midget, he didn't mention the hippopotamus, and he said the midget went on, and soon he fell off, and the hippo ate him. And I said, sorry, what was the hippo doing there? He went, it's a circus.
I've never heard of a circus having a hippo.
What do hippos do?
What can they do? You can't train them, can you?
What do you...
Aren't they, like, very deadly? They're huge, aren't they?
You can't have a hippo in a circus.
Are you sure?
You're not thinking of Zippo?
Isn't he the clown?
Yeah. No, and it wasn't some sort of where Zippo was eating a midget, and it's some sort of horrible sexual act.
No, it was definitely. I heard it on breakfast, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's definitely fact.
Yeah, okay, right, okay, good. Well, let's play a record then. I'd like to play a classic Springsteen. We're all fans of Springsteen there. This might be his debut album, I'm not sure. Greetings from Raspberry Park.
I think it is, yeah.
New Jersey. And this is Growing Up. It's great, it's classic. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right, what's the clues left?
Well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be no buying one of them.
Yeah.
And we've also got Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So, they're the two that are left. Which one's you going for?
Can you believe it is not that picture, is it? That we saw.
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right, okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
right, so...
I just better explain
we
that.
We can't really discuss this on air, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Karl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like the book of a book of freaks and weirdos and grotesques.
And Karl opened it, and the first one was like...
At the back.
At the back.
Well, you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with 2 heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. yeah. He's loving it. At number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him off, and there he is, the chicken owner. Right, so Karl could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Can you believe it?
I love that one,
You're going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
We've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah. About animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we talked about that, and then of course there was the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked.
He said to his mate, "Count how many times I blink when my head comes off."
Yeah, when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as his head was in the basket, he said, "Quick, count how many times I blink." And it was Nick Frost that had to go, "No, Karl, no, he said it before." I went, and that was lovely. So yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one, right? Back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
It's got a specific date, wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one, you know him as well, the lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in. So thanks for that. Chicken, it's called Mike.
There's a chicken called, sorry, I missed a bit there. There's a chicken called Mike.
A chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? Loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, you know, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, go out and get a fresh chicken, because my mum's coming round. So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, because I want to impress her, because back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, alright, I'll just nip out and get one. So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945, I'd say that was after.
No, ended, well...
It ended in 1945.
Yeah, okay. September, go on.
Yeah. So, chicken's running about, he thinks that one, that looks alright, I'll have that one.
Mikey.
So he picks it up, and he cuts its head off.
Oh.
Puts it on the block, cuts its head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute, keeps running about. Oh, what's going on here? Right? He's now, like, chasing the chicken without an head.
Yeah.
He's saying it should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and the explanation, as I understand it, was that certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off. So that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. How did it take on protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute, he said, I could kill it now.
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
But he's thinking, it must really want to live.
Sure.
Right? If it survived that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So he, what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore, right? And he filled it with grain and water, and it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
incredibly.
And he dropped.
You know what? There's. I mean, that is possible then. If it, you know, without infection, without infection, if he was taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel because the chicken obviously, you know.
He said if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but he was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all because it had no brain.
Well,
what do you mean? Well.
I'm just saying what
It was nothing. It was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies, right? That's all it was. It didn't have a brain. So it was, but I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the chicken.
I tell you this, the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he set out, to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just the head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah! Oh, dear.
So, there you go, you've learnt something there.
Yeah, I have learnt something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more.
That farmer, I've learnt that farmer was very strange indeed.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Karl, I have a feeling like when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, here we are.
That's great.
So,
Educating Ricky,
right,
number 3.
Final one. You've had hippopotamus. You had chicken, you believe it, and the last one is I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
All right. Interesting one. This. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff. Right. And another one that I came across. Right. And I was going to use. I was a bit like,
great life you've got.
I was just going on the internet and that, and I also look in magazines. Found a story about a bloke who I don't know. He was messing about with a chainsaw and
I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
And his arm, come off, right?
Come off? What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
It was like, oh.
Again,
anyway,
it's the way to happen.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So, there's a picture of him on a exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything, everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor said, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that, a real arm, from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something. And,
they lost an arm and didn't want it back.
Yeah, I love it. Are you using that? No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Wow, it's first come, first serve, really.
I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we got a spare one.
So, the doctor's going, let me put it on. He's like, well, alright then. So
ungrateful bastard.
So, he does the operation, right? Everything's fine. He's loving it. He's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right. Okay. If this is going to be
he's
something
loving
like
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
Right. If this is going to be, and it was a leg, or
No.
it was a chimp's arm,
or it was the arm of a killer.
It was 2 left arms. Right. I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that. I'm just.
What is? Okay.
Right. So he says, go on then, do it. So he sews it on, and like I say, he's happy. He's brushing his teeth. He can have a pint in the pub. He's lifting a pint with it. All his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years. Everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
Alright, so it all goes all like gammy. And then, for some reason...
The arm starts going gammy.
It goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. One arm's normal. The other one is, like, past his knees. He can pull his socks up without bending over.
So, is this gonna be, they gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world?
No, he just said, oh, what am I going to do? And the doctor said, oh, there's not much we can do. And left it.
Wait a minute, you can't leave it there.
That's not a story.
So, Karl,
That's not
You've got to tell us the explanation. Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story? You've got no scientific explanation as to why...
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So why did his arm grow? Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just what I'm...
It's rubbish again, isn't it?
Well, I don't... It's an interesting story, but you should have...
It's not, and it's rubbish.
But you should have read to the end. There was photos. proof.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Carl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know.
Sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So I'll leave that.
Let's play a tune, let's come back with the next one, because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's Ronnie's. That wasn't even the story. He was gonna tell it.
Well, Carl, that's about it, and we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying.
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing now? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what, did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it was hanging by a thread which made it look long?
Yeah.
Within the skin?
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy.
Arms are very much like tights. They are very much
so the
like
one,
tights.
the one that we didn't get round to on Educating Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, he just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial.
Did he say, why are you interested, Carl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
Well, something that's useless, that's like a bit of a, you know, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Carl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants...
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah, more than they do now.
Right.
More than they do now!
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
No. So, you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff. To sort of-
as factories. Yeah.
To move stuff around and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh, right. God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
you couldn't move them.
If you have a lot of something, you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky?
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't
properly.
They weren't
Sorry,
demicky or
Carl,
properly.
what are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't
Basically,
properly.
Have you started making words up?
Right.
Yeah, you Stanley Unwin.
Listen.
Reincarnated.
Demicky?
Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Okay. Where is this?
Olden
times.
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not sure
it's either Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Were these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So... that's why they're heading, I'll be no buying one of them.
Okay.
Right? So, what would happen is, people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back then, when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fella would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right, so,
this is great.
So a fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff, and what we're doing and stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he say, oh, I got it off that fella, and he goes, oh...
all this embellishing nonsense he does with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, isn't it? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that, you shouldn't have bought it.
It steals from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this, then I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as, like, pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino, couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way, so they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, but a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So at that time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well,
What was that, all that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants? What is it? What are they had blue eyes. What are you?
Well,
Albinos have red eyes for a start.
oh, that's it, we've run out of time.
Oh,
again.
what? I mean, what are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any? Oh, I need some learning. I need some knowledge, Karl. Educate me.
I might be able to help you.
Go on.
We've got 3 things, as always. I'll give them a little heading to tease you as to which one you want to learn first.
Yeah.
First one is the tip included?
Is the tip included? Like it.
Second one, I want to come here in hindsight. Right.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one, am I gonna have to thump you?
We're gonna have to thump you. Okay, and you've trawled, what, the internet?
So, so if I can get into the mindset of this plan, is the tip included? Well, obviously, that's probably not going to be about a weight. It's going to be if that's someone losing the end of his knob, I assume. Am I going to have to thump you? That's a man who lost his arm in a fight, but then picked it up with the other arm and smacked him with it. What was the middle one?
I want to come here in hindsight.
Hindsight.
Hindsight?
Yeah, it's someone was blinded by baked beans.
Sure.
So what are you going for then?
I think I better go for, am I gonna have to thump you?
Right, well this isn't... I've been struggling again, to be honest with you. Searching high and low for stuff, and some of these I had to leave till this morning. So
right, because there's just not enough knowledge out in the world, is there, that you don't know about?
I found out about something in the week about a guy who, was playing tug-of-war.
This is bonus material, isn't it?
He was playing tug-of-war.
Oh, his arm came off.
Only his arm come off.
Yeah, he got caught up in the rope, yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't get caught up in the rope, he just was trying that hard and didn't want to lose. He kept holding it.
But he allowed his arm to be pulled off?
He really wanted to win. And
Well,
the other team, the other team pulled it and his arm come off.
No.
Well.
I don't know who to believe.
Well, think about it. If he's gripping...
Yeah.
As soon as there's tension, like the arm coming out of the socket, the hand might release. I think his arm got caught up in the rope. And so it was involuntary, as opposed to him going, well, my arm's coming off, but I'm not gonna lose this! You might be right.
That's the fact.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus fact.
Yeah, well,
that's educated me.
Well,
a man lost his arm. Oh, interesting. Go on.
Am I gonna have to thump you?
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, shut your face?
Yeah, I've heard the well-known Shakespeare, innit?
Yeah. Do you know how it came about?
No, Joe Dolce?
No,
go on.
It's, ages ago.
Oh, yeah, literally, literally.
Like, knights who wore armour.
Okay.
That's, armour gonna have to thump you, that's how it came about.
Okay, armour.
They wore all the stuff, and they had the helmet, and say if they're guarding something at night, stood outside a castle or something,
yeah.
And there's probably gonna be 2 of them, right? So they stood there talking and that, and, talking about stuff, and...
The future.
Sort of, yeah, medieval stuff.
One of them's like, oh, I wish you'd shut up, you know, I've been stood here for hours, and he's going on and on.
Yeah, sure.
So he'd say, shut your face. Meaning, shut the guard down on your helmet.
The visor.
And I can't hear you then.
Uh-huh.
So shut your face.
Shut your face.
And that's how it came about.
Well, I suppose that's...
It would be interesting if I could just rely on it as
I'm not sure it's true,
I know, I just never know,
It needs to be corroborated.
It's like, I don't know where he got it from, but anything via Karl is precarious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe you should give us your sources next time. You know, tell us where you got this information from.
Got it off the internet.
Yeah, but where on the internet?
I can't remember where that one was. I mean, I always go through, like, the news pages and stuff, and
this news should be updated because they've only reached the 17th century, which was last week with people eating tomatoes off lead plates.
Then I look at news and there was stuff about a woman who was in a shop and she, I don't know, they had some workmen in doing the shop up, and they had some wood glue left out and she asked for some pear juice, and then the guy went and thought the glue in the thing was the pear juice and she went and drank that. But that's not really news.
No.
So I thought, well, we're not having that.
I wish you hadn't told us.
There was one about...
So there's some poor woman now whose tiles have fallen off because she tried to put them up with pear juice.
Yeah.
See, that's the danger of mixing up pear juice with toxic glue.
Yeah.
Your wallpaper and your tiles and everything just fall down.
There was also...
Be careful, everyone.
Be careful.
There was something about, kids having hamburgers, it makes them fat.
Hamburgers.
Hold on. What? Having food with high fat content can make you put on weight?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. You're an idiot. What's the next one?
Well,
no, let's play tune. Let's play tune.
You've still got to come. You've still got I Want to Come Here in Hindsight, and you've still got Is a Tip Included.
Karl just, said to me, here's something. You can't hold your breath to death.
Have you tried it, Karl?
Just a fact. It's just another little lesson.
There's someone here who's in a really low ebb. They've been listening to a show, they were going to commit suicide. They just start holding their breath and thinking, oh, screw it.
Well, what did you learn in the week, right? I'm always doing all the educating. I asked you were talking about watching a programme about jellyfish.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'll be interesting. I'll try and find some stuff out, but I couldn't find anything that I didn't already know about them.
It must be difficult for you to find anything you don't already know.
So what did you learn about jellyfish?
I agreed with you by the end of it, that they should be wiped off the face of the earth because they're balls of water in membrane, right, that go around stinging people to death. Let's lose them, Karl. Let's lose the jellyfish. Yeah?
That's what I think. Because I was stung by one. You know?
Oh, you got stung by one?
Yeah, I was on holiday and got stung by one.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
No,
don't understand them.
I'm not a fan of them.
So that's that.
Good. So, well, that's sorted out the jellyfish conundrum. We've solved that particular worry.
Right then, so, take your pick then.
I asked him if he could have any animal the other day. Did I ask him on air as well?
Don't know.
Off air, he said, I've got it down to 2. Right, and this was, he said, what favourite animal looking at, or could I own one? And I went, you could own one. And he went, right, but could I own one, or would I have trouble? I went, Karl, you've got all the expertise, you can just have it in whatever it needs, and you go down there. He went, right, and I won't regret it and get fed up. I said, no, Karl, just what animal, if you could have any animal, what animal would you love? He went, I've got it down to 2. I went, what is it? He said, either the rhino or the hippo.
What's your logic?
Well, I don't know. That was then. I mean, ask me tomorrow, and I might have 2 other favourites. Do you know what I mean? When was that?
A couple of weeks ago. When was that? Well, you were there.
Yeah, but you know.
What are they today? Quickly now. First animal that comes into your head.
Now. Any animal I want.
You could have any animal in the world.
Right.
From one that's maybe extinct. Anything you want.
Right. I might have. Just for today.
Just for today.
I might have a scorpion in a little box.
A little scorpion in a box. What's your thinking?
It's the chimp every time. It's the chimpanzee or the gorilla.
No. But, have I told you that programme about the scorpion? How they all help each other out?
Right. Scorpions all help each other out?
No, this is brilliant, right? Somewhere in the desert.
Okay.
There's these little...
In the desert.
It's like these little monkeys that are underground or something. And there's holes.
Is this Beneath the Planet of the Apes? The 4th in the series.
Are they talking apes?
Oh, forget it, actually.
No, and you've got it wrong anyway. They're not monkeys.
There's little monkeys under the ground. What are they doing down there? Toiling in some underground mines?
They're lizards, if you remember. And the lizard goes to sleep, and the bloke comes along. You've told this, and the
we've done it. All right.
Monkey from monkey. That's what happens in his mind. From lizard to monkey. Oh, evolution would have been so much easier if Karl was around.
Right.
Turn it into a monkey. I'm fed up with the lizard.
Just promise me once again, Karl. I've asked you before. Promise me you'll never have children.
Go on, right, okay.
Right, what are you having?
What are they again?
Is the tip included?
Yeah, go on, that one.
Right. In Turkey...
Nice.
It's not, actually. That's where I went, and there was them little fellas after Suzanne in the kitchen.
What? What do you mean?
We went to Turkey.
You went to Turkey and there were some little fellas.
Well, they had quite a few sort of midgets working in the kitchen.
Why? Is it a theme?
No,
Was it a theme holiday?
I don't know. Might get them cheaper or something.
Was it?
So they were
get them
working.
cheaper?
They were working in the kitchen, and one of them fancied Suzanne and kept sort of eyeing her up, and she was winding me up saying, "Oh,
Not eyeing up and down, just eyeing her up.
fancy." Anyway, no. So
What
anyway,
was she doing in the kitchen?
no, it's like a pick what you want to eat type buffet, but you have people clearing the tables and that ready for you to come along.
Are they low tables?
And you know, he was just keeping an eye on her.
What did he say though? Was he? What was it? Was he?
It was Turkish, so I don't know what he was saying.
But he was. He was.
Little fella, yeah.
Did he?
What do you mean a little fella? What do you mean little fella?
Sort of dwarf-like.
What do you mean dwarf like? He had magic powers or he was 4 foot?
No,
What do you
just
mean, Karl?
A little bloke, just like a normal bloke, but small. If you stood him in the desert, you wouldn't know.
But he'd be hot and
nothing around
thirsty. Right, Karl.
You should watch out for the monkeys.
Yeah, underground.
Those underground monkeys are
Look,
dangerous.
you can't just say there was a little midget fella who was eyeing up my girlfriend and then leave it. What do you mean? What was happening? This is a story to us. This is much more interesting to us than, and she was deaf, right, and she hit her head. That's much more
I don't understand how this how it manifested itself. Did he come over and say something?
No, do you know when it's like girls know, don't they? When someone fancies them.
What do you mean there was lots of them as well?
Do they? That's worth knowing.
Listen, right, come on, right, so you went to this holiday, yeah?
Yeah,
And you
wasn't
went
that
into the dining room or something?
Yeah, downstairs.
And
in
you
the
looked
dining
over
You thought this is all, there's no one serving.
Yeah, and they go,
Wait a minute.
hold on, you looked down and there was a little waiter.
room. There was loads of them running around busy.
Why, though? Why did
Because
they
it
get
was
those?
summer.
What do you mean?
Because it was in
loads of them.
summer.
They had more of them
They
on.
come out in summer. They come out in summer.
What do you mean they had more, what do you
Because
mean?
it's busy, isn't it?
no, but they
But
hibernate in the
why
winter.
were they all midgets?
I don't know, maybe it doesn't heat stunt your growth or something.
No!
Well, they just happened to, maybe it was a thing that they did for tourists or something, I don't know. I just got on with my meal, it was a holiday, do you know what I mean?
Go on.
Right,
So
so-
it's a midget serving. I'm not going to ask any questions.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're all little fellas running around, and this one always was like, you know, oh, do you want a new serviette? You know what I mean? Going out of his way to sort of...
for turning on the charm.
Yeah, he was going out of his way, the others weren't.
Right. I think what was happening is he'd been working with Santa all sort of winter.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
sort of little summer break.
This one
He
was
hadn't seen
your
a girl.
waiter, and so he was being polite to you.
Maybe.
But what did Suzanne say then?
Well, she was using it to wind me up.
What was she saying? Oh, he's...
Oh, just like, you know, look,
he may be small, but he's
well,
built like a...
Yeah, he's all man.
so...
Were you jealous of a midget then? You were jealous of him?
It is a bit annoying, isn't it?
Why?
It wouldn't bother me as much now, because I've been with her for ages.
Right.
But at the time, that might have been one of our first holidays, and it's like,
You don't
know,
want everything
what's going
thrown
on? I
away
paid
by-
for this holiday.
Yeah.
And then you get off with a midget?
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway,
But it doesn't matter, because you got chatted up by a bearded lady, so...
tell you what, no, that's got nothing to do with that.
What were you going to say? What were you going to
I
say?
was going to say the hotel was half board, and maybe...
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say it's just one of her shortcomings.
So listen, right?
Play a record.